woke!
Go woke, go broke. Toxic fanbase, paid reviewers, unhinged comments. It seems like every big release is now mired in controversy, with everyone shouting at each other.
You suck! You are no talent!
But is there really a war between the fans and Hollywood? And if so, who's winning?
But they'll never take our freedom!
When a new trailer for a big release drops, the first stop is the comment section. It was fun in the beginning, a good old fashion jousting with people having a laugh. But it got to the point where the studios are blaming fans for the flops, actors are being attacked online, journalists are accused of being paid off. The tension reached the maximum heights and became unbearable. We used to say that the gaming industry was the worst when it comes to toxicity, and look how the tables have turned.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
The war is real. It's clear that studios and audiences don't see eye to eye anymore. But it's not just blog posts created to rage bait. For example, after CinemaSins released a video called Everything Wrong with Kong Skull Island, the director Jordan Vogt-Roberts wasn't having any of it and went on Twitter to vent his frustrations, which is not a good strategy. And the film wasn't even that bad. The more recent response to the bad movie reception was James Mangold saying that he was disappointed that the fans criticized his Indiana Jones. I'm not a hater, but come on, that movie was terrible. I didn't think one could make Indiana Jones so boring, and the budget was $300 million. It's crazy out there.
You chose poorly.
So let's hear what both sides have to say. From the studio's perspective, the hardcore fanbase is a bit of a problem. Not only are they very vocal online, but they also tend to harass actors and production teams.
I remember somebody threatening me on the street because some people did object to the film getting made and all that, and I remember people saying that they were going to do me harm and stuff.
If there is a change, a direction that the fans don't agree with, they will review bomb the movies, dislike the videos, and even harass people who like the films.
Shame on you.
Silencing other voices out of fear. And these negative backlash stories sell, so journalists and blogs tend to focus on them to drive our clicks. Now, it's debatable if these tactics actually work. Good reviews don't shield films from flopping and vice versa. Bad reviews may not affect box office takes. However, the negative press can definitely affect the perception and willingness of people to go out and see something.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Movie reviews do affect our decisions whether to see something or not, especially since many YouTube creators and reviewers build their reputations on negativity and hate anything slightly out of the line. Creativity, especially storytelling, is all about pushing boundaries. It always was. And there is also the issue of more serious harassment. Misogyny, racism, homophobia, wokeness or anti-wokeness. We saw it in response to Star Wars, Rings of Power, Bridgerton, and many other big budget projects. If you're an actor finally getting a big break and then suddenly getting hundreds of messages hating on you, that's pretty terrible. It's difficult to say how many of these are bots or real people. It can get nasty out there, it's a jungle. In the end, word of mouth will always be the strongest marketing out there, but it's hard to avoid the drama, especially for people who, like me, always check what's going on and what people are saying. So studios seem to have their reasons for complaining about the toxic fan base. But what do fans have to say to that? So the biggest thing people hate is gaslighting, and studios got really good at that.
Aha, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders!
When a project fails, the first reaction is to blame the audience for the attitude, which is incredibly patronizing and alienates the fans.
When it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have.
Because we want to watch good adaptations based on beloved stories and not to be preached at by suits who priority is making money.
Hello, I like money.
Unfaithful adaptations are definitely a thorn that annoys people who have waited years to see their favorite stories on a screen. Another big criticism is the push for so-called diversity, changing the characters' race and gender and including politics in the stories.
And we have a gay hero.
Now this is a difficult one because the producers and filmmakers for these big shows usually come from Western liberal countries and a very specific segment of the population. But their stories serve a worldwide audience, different cultures, attitudes and backgrounds. So there will always be people who aren't happy with the portrayals. But at the same time, it's not like we never had a diverse approach to storytelling before. But when the focus is on the messaging rather than the character development and the writing, it's kind of obvious and distracts the viewer.
That's some white people shit.
When Netflix announced the adaptation with Henry Cavill, who personally lobbied to play Geralt, everyone was overjoyed. Unfortunately, it's a perfect example of how to ruin people's excitement. From the changes to the story, the rumors that the writers hated the source material, to Cavill leaving the project after 3 seasons, it has been a disaster. We could take any recent Star Wars project and enter a bottomless pit of online drama. From fans to actors, producers and directors just blaming each other for flops and bad reception. We got strange marketing, hostile comment sections.
There's been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced.
And ultimately, cancellations that only add fuel to the fire. And it doesn't seem like it will stop anytime soon. We could go into any big movie or franchise and talk about it for hours. Marvel and their latest entries aren't getting any love. Rings of Power, Wheel of Time, and even The Boys started getting flack for the latest seasons. The list is endless. But is there a way to fix it? Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
The internet allows for anonymity, and anyone with an opinion can voice it. When directors and actors ignite the flames, they only make it worse. But at the same time, any abuse and harassment has to be called out. Like there is a talent protection training where actors learn how to deal with the backlash, even deleting the social media completely.
You know what I think the problem is? Facebook.
And I just got rid of it, and I won't go back.
And studios try to focus on test supergroups, often pandering to a small audience segment and doing incredible cringe marketing.
Middle-earth had like a club. Yo, this tune is banging!
Which can lead to tweaks and adjustments to the project, which is like bonkers in my mind, because creativity should never be about pleasing anyone. When millions are on the line and hundreds of jobs, it becomes more about statistics than the story.
I'm in the empire business.
And the result is usually a pile of mediocrity. To finish with a quote apparently from a creator of Pokemon. And even if it's not real, it's just the best and it sums up my opinion on the subject. You all think you have great ideas for Pokemon games, but if I actually listened to all of you and we combined all of your ideas into a game, it would be an unplayable, monstrous game. You want a game with all the regions, but only the first generation Pokemons, yet all the legendary ones and such silly things. Whenever I receive one of these rants, I go to the development floor and read it out loud to all the Game Freak employees in a mocking voice, and we all laugh at you. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.